everybody, welcome back. This is an episode I am calling Post-Match. If you're watching this before you've watched play-by-play where we actually play the game, I would suggest going back and watching that first. I am here with Jordan, and we are actually going to discuss the game we just played. Well, we played it a few days ago, but we're on a time crunch. So before we get into the little categories I have laid out, how did you feel about this game?
I actually thought it was really fun as someone who really struggles with games that have like too many rules. This one was even if you don't understand the rules, let's just play around and you'll figure it out. And the rounds are really fast, so you pick it up really quickly. It's one that I feel like I could bring to a party and easily explain to the group and just be like, all right, let's go, let's play.
Had you ever played this one before?
No, not this one.
Okay.
I played Sushi Go.
Yes.
And very similar concept, and once you had mentioned that when you were explaining the rules, I was like, alright, I got this.
Yeah. I own so many games, and I don't remember who I've played them with. So sometimes I'll bring out a game, and I'll just be like, you guys all remember this? And they're like, no. I've never seen her before in my life. And I'm like, oh, great. But so I'm always happy when I can quickly explain a game. That's why we made the channel. But I have 5 little categories I want us to get into real quick. Because I've always found that when people who play board games are like, this is a fun game, and I'm like, of course it was. If it wasn't, you wouldn't have played it.
True, very true.
So I feel like I want to put together some sort of ranking system for people. So the first ranking I have is actually nothing to do with the game itself, but it is box fit, which is how do the components fit into the game box.
This one.
This is a very niche thing for just me, because a lot of people store their games like this, but that takes up a lot of space, and when you pack things on, it tends to crush things, so I store my games vertically. And so a lot of times I won't buy games if it's just like, we've put bags in a box.
Yep.
How would you rank the fitting of everything in this box?
This one's pretty good, especially because, hold on, we'll let the audience.
Oh, man.
Just one though, and if you had the cover on, it would be fine. But I like that everything easily fit in here. I'm gonna name drop somebody, and I'm looking at them specifically. Catan, your pieces don't fit back in your box. I don't want to carry around the expansion every single time.
Yeah.
Why can't I fit everything in one box? But I really like this. I think this fits nice. And this game also doesn't have a lot of pieces. Everything's a square. So we're going to make everything a square except the box.
How would you rate the box fit of everything out of 10?
Out of 10, I'm going to give this one a 9 because I do not like this shape.
The hourglass?
I don't like the hourglass, but I like everything else. I like how these all fit in because I love nice, neat packaging, and this is nice, neat packaging. And I like that it gives you 3 individual slots for the cards. I like keeping all my cards separated. I don't like when they just have one deck box and you have to mix all the cards back up. So I like that they're all separated. And I like that there's something that goes over top that holds them in place so they don't get all shuffled around when the box gets moved.
Can I tell you something?
What?
Exact same for me. I almost gave this a 10, and then as I was thinking, I was like, I hate this box shape so much.
Whoever was like...
This is very creative. This is good marketing. Hate it.
Hate it.
Hate holding it.
No. I work, we never do like people introductions. I work in packaging. So like my job is to go through and like review people's prints for like production. And sometimes you just look at something and you're like, why did you think that was a good idea? That's how I feel about this box.
Yeah. There are 2 games in my collection that I would deem a perfect 10. And I've planned out a few months ahead. We're not playing them in the next calendar year.
Oh, I was gonna say, so my best packaging, Cards Against Humanity.
Cards Against Humanity.
Cards Against Humanity.
I will say, as somebody who owns the biggest, blackest box, they need a biggerest, blackerest box. Because I own all the expansions, and I am running out of space. I have a second shoebox full of, because it's also like there's so many unofficial expansions.
That's true, yeah.
That you can mix in. I'm just like, I don't want to separate them out to mix them in.
Yeah, but I like that like their packaging, they anticipate you getting more cards, and like the foam blocks that they add in there, like I like that to me. Chef's kiss is good packaging.
So moving on from the packaging, the next step in closing the box up, the rules. how did you think? What did I put down specifically? Rule explanation was. Did you think it made sense when I first told you? Was it a little confusing? I know your husband whenever he's given more than one instruction. She's married to Tyler, by the way. Never established yet.
We don't wear our rings. We're just not those kind of people.
Yeah.
I don't like things on my hands.
But Tyler gets 2 instructions. This man was in the armed forces. He gets more than one instruction. He's like, "You've lost me. I'll do the first thing and then we can get to the second thing." And I'm like, "Homie, that's not how games work." But so when I explained
war isn't a game, James.
when I was explaining the rules to you at the beginning, did it make sense? Was it a bit confusing?
So like I said earlier, it is a very confusing game, but it's a fast-paced game, so I feel like demonstration is the best explanation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, until we saw, and especially for games like this, where each card has a different command and each character has a different niche thing, you really have to, like, play through your cards to understand, like, what is happening. So, if I just had the rule book, what am I ranking this out of?
Out of 10. This is another out of 10.
If I was just ranking the rule book, like, before we had played around, honestly, I'd probably only give it, like, a 6.
Okay.
But after we played, like, around, I would rank it higher. But, like, just rule book-wise, like, for me, I was a little confused.
So out of a 6.
And also, I guess it goes to show, I was playing it wrong, and I'm sure it will be caught. Remember when I was using the one card about us returning cards?
Yeah.
And then we realized that I wasn't discarding the card. I was thinking...
You were discarding the card. You
into
were
my disc, yes.
card.
I was doing Magic the Gathering rules where you put it in your graveyard. And then finally, halfway through one of the matches, we were like, hold on, I'm doing this wrong. So, even after all that, I still played it wrong.
There is, I'm going to rank the rules a 7 because to do our episode rulebook where I explain all the rules, watch it if you haven't. It was the first video on the channel. I have to read these rules like 5 times over and write it out to make it like consistent to say. And there were a lot of times where I'd be like, I don't want to skip this rule, but there's no good way to convey it outside of playing the game and being like, not in the rules.
Yes. Kind of like how we were doing the time freeze.
Yeah.
And you're like, how do you explain that? Like, you guys had this twice I did it wrong because I was just like,
I can do these. And I was like, oh god, she put cards on the table.
Alright, let's go.
Yeah. I will give this a 7.
Yeah.
Because once you, like, if you
once
sit
you play
down
around,
and read it.
you're good.
Yeah. But
we actually, did we record the first round where I cannot remember, I'm sorry guys. So we did a practice round and we had our hands, our 3 cards, we held all facing up so we could all see what the other one has as like a practice round to kind of explain. And that really helped a lot since Crow hadn't played before either.
Crow hadn't played either.
So the 3 of us had never played before. So that just kind of gave him an opportunity to look at our cards and be like, okay, this is how you would do your move. And that helped more than anything. Just to be able to, like I said, see all the variations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the final kind of main concept is gameplay. How did you think the gameplay made sense? Did you think the gameplay was concise? Was it a bit of a cluster?
That's where I think this game thrives, though, is that it is a cluster, and that's what makes it fun. And I like that we didn't win. It made me, like, angry, but also, like, well, now I have to play again. Now I have to try again. Like, we played wrong, and we gotta play again. We gotta play it right this time. Because I know we could beat it if we did it right. We did not. But I really liked it. I thought it was fun. The chaos makes it fun. Everyone yelling and throwing things, that's part of the fun. So I'd say this one's pretty fun.
Out of 10?
I'm gonna... It's the first one, so I don't want to be, like, too generous. I would rank this, for gameplay, an 8.
Okay.
Like I said, it was still fun. It was a little chaotic, but because we didn't win, and that I like closure. We did not get closure
We
with
didn't. This is kind of, I don't want to say the risk/reward of ranking, is I kind of want to hit all of these as individuals. So as we progress, and we're like on our 20th or 30th game, I don't want you to be like, this game was fun, but you know, 5-minute dungeon was just that much better. Every time I want to... This is the first game you've ever played. Okay. So I think this is like the perfect...
Okay.
So we have played no other games. This is an 8.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
The next one is actually out of 5. I split this up into 2 categories of 5.
Okay.
And it is replayability, which is a big thing for games. There are a lot of games where I play a game and I'm like, that was nice, I'll never touch this again. And into the back of the closet it goes.
Yep.
So there are 2 types of replayability I kind of hit on, and that's why this was broken up into 2. The first one is short-term replayability. After we finish this game, on a scale of 1 to 5, how badly were you like, I think we should play this one more time?
I would say 5. Like, if you had said one more round, I would have been like, alright, let's go, I'm in.
I had this as a 4 because this is one where, like, you can just keep retrying, but also, like...
This is like hot dropping. Like, you know, I want to play one more round, like in a video game. Let's just drop hot. Like, if we don't win, okay.
Yeah.
If we do win, though, this is like a hot drop board game for me. Like, really quick, like, I just want to play something. Like, this is a game for me.
This is... I don't know if this is, like, an official board game thing. I learned this from a YouTube channel called Scam School, and it was about, like, doing bar tricks, and it's your opener, your tweener, and your closer. This is what I call, like, an opener board game. This is to get people, like, ready for... This is a game you get ready to play, to get people into playing the better board games. Like, we talked about Catan. That's a tweener. That is, we're only going to play that once.
Yeah.
And that is going to take up a good chunk of our time.
Yes.
This is... There's the time limit. There's 5 minutes. There is max 25 minutes to a half an hour. But at any point, if we get bored, we could be like, different game.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to put this as a 4. So on the inverse of that, outside of short-term replay, we have long-term replay. This is, we just played this in 2 months, we're having another board game night. How likely are you out of 5 to be like, hey, can you bring 5 Minute Dungeon with you?
Ooh. My heart says 5.
Okay.
In context of, I think of like my friend group where we only see each other like once every 3 months, and I'm like, do we really want to play that same board game again? Like that kind.
Yeah.
I actually, you know what? I'll give it a 4 then.
Okay.
Because I'm having those doubts. I'm gonna give it a 4 because like, if I have already played this game with my friends, I kind of want to try a new board game.
That's fair. I am actually giving it a 3. Because as the guy that brings board games to hangouts, there are a lot of times where someone's like, hey, can you bring this game? And I'll just be like, I have like 5 better games than that. This is one where I wouldn't mind bringing it, but I'd want a different game, another quick game between the next time we play it.
Does it say 5 players? So people who have more than 5 friends, this one's out.
Yeah.
Luckily, I don't know that many people, so...
So that brings us up to our last category, which is quite simply, how do you like it? This is objectively out of 10. How would you rate the entire board game?
The entire board game out of 10?
This is our generic, like, I really liked this game, or like, this game was fun.
Man, you should have a packaging category too.
I put that in box.
In box fit.
Yeah.
Out of 10? I don't want to give it another 8 because I feel like that's really high for the first one. But I really like this game.
It's okay to like things.
I don't. It is so funny that I don't like games with a lot of rules, but I love Magic the Gathering because I literally, when I play Magic, I have to have the like glossary next to me because I'm like, I don't know what half these words mean.
List of games to play on the channel, because it's technically in my collection, I have Magic the Gathering, and there have been 3 times now where I'm like writing a rule book for something, or I'm like, oh, what will I do like 5
Throw
months?
it out.
Like, I have my schedule of like, I have the next 7 months of games planned, and twice I've used a random number generator. It's like, you tried playing Magic the Gathering? And I was like, not in your life.
You cannot even like begin to describe
the rule book's going to be 2 hours of me looking like this, being like, okay.
That's just a bunch of cuts.
This is something that only occurs if it's a full moon and your player is using an all-black deck.
That's what I play. There we go.
My least favorite monocolor deck.
I
pick on blue because I just love to counterspell people.
I used to run a blue-black deck, and then my friend who taught me, she taught me that you should split up your cards from the highest mana cost to the lowest mana cost. and like see where your cards lie. So I split up and I was like, wow, I have like 8 high cost cards and I only have like 2 or 3 low cost cards. And I only had 6 blue cards in the entire deck. I was like, that's not a blue-black deck.
No.
So I was like, scrap those 6 cards. We're just going to throw in 6 of these.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that one is like Magic, like
Magic's a lot.
it's a lot. Where this, like, we could take this on our family vacation and explain it to the little kids. So easy. The adults could play this and we would still have fun. Like, I feel like overall it's just a good game to have in your collection. So yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8. This is one that you would want in your collection, no matter if it was friends, family, any age. Obviously they have to be able to read. So
I have been consistently one-undering you for your scores, and
I'm a generous.
I know. I'm going to put this at a 7 just because this is a very fun game.
Are we doing decimals? 7.5?
No.
Oh, alright.
I don't have time for that. Because this is a very fun game. I do think there are better games out there that are this style. For various reasons, between like gameplay and just portability, which is a big thing.
Yes. This one does not have a lot of pieces. The box does not need to be this big.
No.
It could have been way more compact. Now I want to edit my packaging. Oh no. Oh no.
You still have time.
Are we okay, what did I put
You
for
have a 9 for packaging.
Ooh.
For box fit and packaging.
Box fit? Now that I've said that, because this could have very easily been a small, compact rectangle box. I'm gonna make it a 7 now.
Okay.
I said what I said. I'm sorry. I talked myself out of it.
You know what you just did? Our final scores, out of 50, I, with my unwavering correct opinions, have given this game 38 points out of 50.
Wow.
And you, lowering your box fit stat by 2, have also made this game 38 out of 50.
Hey!
This is a solid game. There are better games.
For the record,
There are much worse games.
we don't agree on anything.
No.
So that says a lot.
Oh, another thing, because we revealed that you and Tyler are married. We're siblings. I know we look nothing alike.
Oh, yeah.
Our little brother will show up eventually, and you'll be
He's
like,
like an in-between.
yeah. Our younger brother looks a lot like her, and then I am here, built wide, and then he's like, that's not the same sibling.
Our little brother is my face, copy and pasted onto a boy.
Mm-hmm.
With pink hair? Is he pink?
His hair is pink now, yeah.
It's pink right now. He'll look different every time he's on.
He
It's
can
fine.
never have green hair.
It's faded so fast.
Yeah.
Josh, if you're watching this.
Figure yourself out.
I know what you're gonna say, and then you censored yourself. Josh, you know what he was gonna say.
So
38.
38 out of 50. Solid. This has been post-match. I think we're close enough that I can reveal what next month's game is going to be. We are going to be playing 12 Days. We'll see you guys next month for that. Later.
And the credits are rolling, and now we have witty banter.
Oh no, there's no credits.
Oh.
I'm going straight to a blank card.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's so funny that I dropped it.
Yeah.
I talked myself out of it. I